let's walk through the second assignment, paper 2. So if we go to our Blackboard page, pull this puppy dog up, and we're going to look at it together. All right, assignment or paper 2 description and narrative assignment. So it's right here under assignments. Let's pull it up. All right, CCRI 1005, paper 2, description assignment. Now, please, please, please make a note. I changed the due date. It was originally due on a Thursday. Uh, I moved it to the following Tuesday, March 2nd. So I pushed it back a couple days. Everyone will have a few more days to work on it. So write that down in your diaries, notebooks, syllabus if you have your syllabus printout, or make a note of it. I changed the due date. So the new due date is Tuesday, March 2nd on Blackboard, Microsoft Word or PDF only. Everything's the same. Follow all the format. Please look at all the videos that are up there on our Blackboard page that really walk through introductions, thesis statements, body paragraphs / meal paragraphs, and conclusions. And you can follow those along. Those will be extremely helpful. The grade, this one's worth a few more points because we're doing a couple different things here. But the point breakdown is all pretty much the same. This one's worth a cool 150 though. And you see the breakdown there. All right, here's the difference. In this paper, I'm asking you to do something a little more complicated, a little different. So please pay attention. I really want you to do the free writing after we're done. So, and I'll try to explain this in even more detail than the first paper. For this assignment, you will write a 3-page description. So I want this to be 3 pages. I want you to write about a thing that reminds you of something from your past. For example, you could write about a special item, a particular food, a song or singer, musician or band that reminds you of someone, or even reminds you of a time period from your past. Your thing could also be a movie, article of clothing, piece of jewelry, a special place, video game, book, restaurant, car, etc. It could be a musical instrument, like a guitar, keyboard, a piece of sports equipment like a baseball glove you had when you were younger. Think about a special article of clothing. Think about something given to you, handed down from a family member. Something that reminds you of something from your past, right? The goal of this assignment is to vividly describe and illustrate the significance of the thing you choose. And we're going to jump into this a little more in a second. The one thing I miss about, this is asynchronous, right? So we're not meeting. This assignment's a little trickier because if we were meeting in person, if all, however many of us, 15, 16, 17, 18, 20 of us were together, I'd have everyone do this in-class writing, and then we would all talk about their thing. And when some people who are stuck on it would hear other people and we get ideas. So I might have you do that and upload it to Blackboard, but just keep posted for that. Your paper will be set up like this. Start with an introductory paragraph that grabs the reader's attention and mentions your thing and its significance. You will have a thesis statement at the end of your first paragraph. Like the first paper, follow with a number of body paragraphs that describe an important aspect of your thing, one important aspect per paragraph. Your conclusion should reiterate your points and also describe how the thing affects you now, at the present. So some areas to think about and write about in your paper. Does your thing remind you of somebody? Say your grandmother gave you a locket, a bracelet, a piece of jewelry, you can talk about that time when she gave it to you, and you can talk about how the piece of jewelry reminds you of her. Did you watch a movie, or did you watch a movie over and over when you were little? Who does it remind you of? Think about this if you're writing about a favorite video game from childhood. Tetris, right? Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. Who does this video game remind you of? Who did you play it with? What did you do? If you were writing about like a baseball or softball glove, what does it remind you of? Talk about some people it reminds you of. So, that could be one aspect of your paper you're talking about. I want it to be grounded in the thing, the item, the special article, whatever. But then you could kind of bounce off and talk about a person or people it reminds you of. Also, what I want you to do, think about the person you were when you received the thing. You know, think about if you were younger, how were you then? Like, what was your outlook on life? What were you thinking about? What were you worried about? How are you different now? So, in a sense, how have you changed over this time? And then finally, how do you think about the thing now in the present? So, if it's something from your childhood, reflect and look back on it now. What's your relationship with it now? So, similarly to the first paper, this is the tricky thing with these papers, and I'm purposely doing this. We're playing with time a little bit. Remember in the first paper, and you can think of it in like the first paper as well, where I asked you to write about your past experience with education, your present experience, and your future. You're doing the same thing with time with this paper. Talk about when you got the thing. That could be a paragraph or a part of your paper. When you received the item, when you picked up the item, uh, who was with you, what were you doing, what were you feeling, thinking, being at the time. How has it changed over time? Do you still have it? What do you think about now in the present? So, on some of these examples, it could be a first car. I've had students write about a first car they have had in the past. So if you do pick a first car, think about a first car you've had. Think about all the things you did in it, right? Uh, all the fun times you had with your friends, or going to places, or cruising around, going to the beach, all that stuff. That could be a jumping off point. So there's a lot going on with your car. It could be a restaurant. I've had a student write about a restaurant he and his family would go to for special events. So if you have a restaurant you go to that brings back memories, that could be something. Is it a book? I would probably write about a book. Do you have a book from your past that reminds you of a lot of things? Video game. This could be a video game you played when you were younger. Say you played a video game with friends from a long time ago, or your siblings from a long time ago. Describe the video game. Is there a special place? Is there like a vacation spot you and your family would return to? Is there like a special place in your memory? It doesn't even have to be a vacation spot. It could be like somewhere you go to. Article of clothing. Think about a special article of clothing. It could be like a something, a sweatshirt, something like that, a shirt. You know, Article of clothing could be like a jersey as well. Think of like a jersey or something like that. Jewelry I touched upon a bit. Think of a movie that reminds you of your past. Is there a favorite movie that you would continuously watch over and over a long time ago? Singer, musician, think of a song. I don't know, do the crazy kids out there, do you still have like songs that remind you of the past, or a song that reminds you of somebody, right? Musician, rock band. I'd probably, I think I would, the rock band, the Rolling Stones, reminds me of my friend. That's what I would probably write about, who passed away 20 years ago. So whenever I hear the Rolling Stones, I see this person, and it reminds me of all the things we did together. And it was hard to listen to them now. A particular food. This is interesting. Do you have a particular food that's important to you that reminds you of family, friends, time periods, people, a place? So, because this is a description, I'm really want you to focus on describing the thing. If it's a food, describe preparation, eating, the smells, the taste, the texture, the color, right? I'm going to be posting a video looking at the pages from the book. This is description here we're looking at. So I want you to, whatever you choose, describe in detail. If it's a song or singer, musician, band, artist you like, describe the songs, describe their sound, describe their style. describe their lyrics. What do you like about it? Why is it important? What's the thing about it? A movie, describe the movie in detail. What does it make you feel? What do you like? If it's funny, describe why it's funny. If it's if it's thrilling, describe why it's thrilling. Article of clothing. Again, describe it physically, the texture, the feel, the color, all this stuff. When you wear it, how does it make you feel? A special place. Again, all the descriptions, right? Think of our descriptors: taste, touch. What are they? We got the five senses, right? Taste, touch, sight, hearing, smell. You know, smell. If it's something, I always love to talk about. Do you all remember how elementary schools used to smell? They were like, what are they like? Crayons and paste or something, right? If it's a special place, if you like going to the ball game, the baseball stadium or the football stadium, think of all the sights, the sounds, and the smells, right? The video game, describe the video game in detail. The characters, the what's going on, everything. A book, same thing. And restaurant, same thing. Restaurant and food would have similar descriptions. Your car, describe your car. So, and look at this structure. And I'll be probably posting another video or two about the paper. But look at this part. Again, I'm repeating myself, but this is helpful. Does your thing, whatever it is, remind you of someone? If it does, write that down. Think about who you were then. So if you're like 18, 19, 20 or older, 25, 30 or 40 or 50, and your item is from a long time ago, talk about who you were then, how you're different now. This is a little bit of an existential question here, right? And then how do you look back and think about the thing now? So if you still go to the ball game, if you go to Fenway Park, or if you still eat the food or any of these things, or listen to the band or the music, think about when you first heard it and how you've changed. And how do you think about it now? These things take on new resonances now, right? They take on new meanings. So what I want you to do, and please do this, on the back of the sheet, start to describe the first thing that pops in your mind. Describe it in detail and why is important to you. Some things may have been important to you, and you may not have them anymore. If it's a baseball glove or a piece of jewelry, you could have lost it, or it could have, thrown it away on accident. If you still have it, describe why it's important to you. Do the whole taste, touch, five senses thing, sight, smell, I had a student who wrote about this last semester. She was talking about a little tea set that was always at her grandmother's house when she was little. And they would have tea in it and play like tea parties or whatever. And then her grandma gave it to her when she was older. And she had the tea set sitting on her desk, right? Think about these things. Just start writing down some notes. The first thing that pops in your mind, and what you write now, it doesn't have to be what you write your paper about, but spend some time just brainstorming and thinking about these things. All right. Also, read over the assignment again on your own and write down one question you have about it. So please check this video out. This assignment's a little bit different than the first one. It's requiring a little bit of a different thought in some way. If any of you are stuck, if any of you have like, Charles, I have no idea what I want to write about, send me an email. We'll talk about it. We can figure out something. But all right, everybody, that's assignment 2. Make sure you note the due date's different. And I will be posting some videos on the page numbers that look at description. Talk to you all soon.